My beloved brothers and sisters, marriage is not about finding the right person for a moment. It is about choosing the same person for a lifetime, through storms and sunshine alike. Before we even begin to think about marriage, we must pause and ask ourselves a very important question. Am I ready within myself? Too often, people look at marriage as a solution to their problems, as if it will magically fix loneliness, insecurities, or lack of direction. But marriage is not a bandage for wounds we have not yet healed. It is not a cure for immaturity or confusion. Rather, marriage magnifies who we already are. If you are content, responsible, and grounded, marriage will strengthen those qualities. But if you are broken, careless, and unaware of yourself, those flaws will only become heavier when two lives are tied together. Self-readiness is the first step toward a successful marriage. It begins with knowing who you are and where you are headed in life. Do you understand your purpose? Do you know what kind of partner you would like to be? Many rush into relationships because they fear being left behind, or because of pressure from family or society. But in reality, marriage is not a race, nor is it a medal of achievement. It is a responsibility, and responsibilities require preparation. If you cannot handle your own emotions today, how will you handle the emotions of another person tomorrow? If you are unable to respect yourself, how will you respect your spouse? Emotional maturity is not about never getting angry or sad, but about knowing how to manage those feelings without harming yourself or those around you. It's about being patient when things don't go your way, being forgiving when mistakes happen, and being strong enough to communicate honestly without arrogance or fear. A partner who is emotionally immature will make marriage difficult because instead of solving problems, they will create new ones. That is why self-awareness is crucial. Take time to reflect on your strengths and weaknesses and work on becoming the best version of yourself before sharing your life with someone else. Equally important is independence. Marriage is not meant to be a relationship where one person carries the entire burden while the other simply leans. Both individuals must bring value into the bond. This doesn't only mean financial independence, though that is important, but also mental and spiritual independence. Are you able to make wise decisions on your own? Can you stand firm in your values without being swayed by every opinion around you? If you are not stable within, marriage will not stabilize you. It will shake you even more. Marriage is a beautiful journey, but only if you step into it prepared, self-aware, and mature enough to handle its challenges. If you cannot take care of yourself today, how will you take care of someone else tomorrow? One of the biggest realities that many people overlook when thinking about marriage is financial responsibility. Marriage is not just about emotions. It is also about building a home together, sustaining a lifestyle, and sharing responsibilities that require stability. Love alone cannot put food on the table, pay the bills, or raise children. While money is not the purpose of marriage, it is an undeniable necessity. Without proper planning, financial struggles can become one of the biggest causes of stress and conflict between spouses. Before stepping into marriage, it is crucial to ask yourself, am I ready to take on financial responsibility? This does not mean you must be extremely wealthy or have every luxury, but you should have a level of independence and stability that allows you to stand on your own feet. If you are unable to manage your own expenses now, how will you manage the expenses of a household? Many people enter marriage with the hope that things will somehow work out. But hope without preparation can quickly turn into frustration. A partner who constantly feels the pressure of financial instability may struggle to give attention to the emotional and spiritual sides of marriage because survival worries dominate their mind. It is also important to recognize that financial stability is not just about earning money, but about managing it wisely. There are people who earn well, but because they lack discipline in spending, they remain in constant stress. Overspending, living beyond one's means, or having no clear plan for savings can lead to unnecessary arguments and disappointment in a marriage. If you cannot control your own spending habits today, how will you plan for the needs of a family tomorrow? A responsible partner is not the one who simply provides luxuries, but the one who ensures that the essentials are secured, the future is planned for, and resources are used with wisdom. Another aspect to consider is the role of trust and transparency in finances. Hiding debts, lying about income, or avoiding conversations about money will only break the foundation of trust in marriage. Couples who are open about their financial realities, who plan together and support each other, are far more likely to succeed than those who let silence and secrets create gaps. Preparing for marriage means preparing yourself to share, to plan, and to take accountability for both your successes and your struggles. Marriage is not sustained by emotions alone, but by responsibility, trust, and the willingness to stand strong together through every season of life. When two people come together in marriage, they are not just sharing a home, they are sharing their hearts, their thoughts, and their lives. This means that communication becomes the lifeline of the relationship. Without communication, misunderstandings grow. Silence creates distance, and small issues turn into mountains. Many people think that love alone will carry them through, but the truth is even love can wither if communication is weak. The ability to express yourself clearly, to listen with patience, and to resolve conflicts without breaking each other is what keeps a marriage alive. Communication is not simply talking. It is about understanding, about listening to the emotions behind the words, and about respecting the feelings of your partner even when you don't fully agree. A person who refuses to communicate when hurt or angry leaves the other in confusion and pain. On the other hand, a person who communicates harshly and without thought causes wounds that may last a lifetime. Finding balance, speaking with kindness and honesty, while also listening with openness, is what strengthens the bond between two people. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, especially marriage. Two different individuals with different upbringings, personalities, and ways of thinking are bound to disagree at times. The problem is not the presence of conflict, but how we deal with it. Some couples allow disagreements to turn into battles of ego, where the focus is no longer on solving the problem, but on winning the argument. Others avoid conflict altogether, allowing resentment to build quietly until it explodes. True maturity is found in those who know how to disagree without disrespect, who can face conflict without breaking trust. It is in these moments of conflict that patience, humility, and forgiveness are tested. If you are quick to shout, to insult, or to walk away, you must ask yourself, am I really ready for marriage? Because marriage requires you to face situations where walking away is not an option. It requires you to sit, to listen, to compromise, and to sometimes let go of your pride for the sake of peace. Strong communication is built when both partners understand that it is not about one being right and the other wrong, but about finding a solution together. Another part of communication that people forget is showing appreciation and love. Too often, couples get so caught up in responsibilities and routines that they forget to say simple words like a thank you, I'm proud of you, or I love you. These small gestures may seem minor, but they keep the heart connected. Silence and appreciation creates distance, but regular words of kindness nurture closeness. When you think about marriage, it is easy to focus on emotions, physical attraction, or the excitement of companionship. But one of the most vital pillars of a lasting union is spiritual and moral alignment. Two people can be deeply in love, but if their values, principles, and beliefs are pulling in opposite directions, the relationship will be filled with constant conflict and confusion. Marriage is not just about living under the same roof. It is about walking the same path, striving for the same goals, and being grounded in a shared foundation that brings peace to both hearts. If one partner values honesty while the other is comfortable with lies, the bond will eventually crack. If one believes in simplicity while the other is consumed by materialism, tension will grow. And if one partner dedicates their life to faith while the other neglects it, the connection becomes unbalanced, leaving one constantly struggling to pull the other along. This is why spiritual and moral alignment is not just an option, it is a necessity. It shapes the atmosphere of the home, the upbringing of children, and the overall direction of the marriage. Spiritual alignment does not mean that both individuals must be at the exact same level of faith or practice, because people are always growing. What matters is that both share the same compass, the same sense of direction, and the same willingness to grow together. When both partners agree that their ultimate purpose is to please Allah, every disagreement, every hardship, and every success finds its place within that bigger picture. Suddenly, arguments are not about me versus you, but about us versus the problem. Decisions are not based on selfish desires, but on what is right and pleasing to Allah. Moral alignment is just as important. Respect, loyalty, modesty, patience, and kindness are values that form the character of a strong marriage. Without them, even the wealthiest homes feel empty. Imagine trying to live with someone who does not share your sense of respect, who does not value honesty, or who mocks your principles. The lack of moral alignment can turn even the sweetest love into bitterness. But when two people share the same principles, even the toughest days feel bearable because they know they are guided by the same truth. Spiritual and moral alignment also builds trust. You don't have to constantly doubt your partner's intentions because you know their values guide their actions. You don't have to fear betrayal because both of you are bound by something higher than personal feelings, by the awareness of accountability before Allah. This trust creates security and allows love to flourish. One of the greatest misunderstandings people have about marriage is the belief that it is always supposed to be smooth, easy, and free of struggles. The reality is that marriage is not about perfection, but about perfection, sacrifice, and compromise. Two individuals, no matter how deeply in love, will have differences in personality, habits, preferences, and ways of thinking. If you expect marriage to always go your way, then you are not ready for it. Marriage is not about one person winning and the other losing. It is about both learning to meet in the middle, sometimes giving up what you want for the peace and happiness of the other. Sacrifice is not a weakness in marriage, it is one of its strengths. It is the ability to say, I will put aside my comfort because your well-being matters to me. It could be as small as adjusting your daily routine to match your spouse's needs, or as big as changing your lifestyle for the sake of your family's future. Without sacrifice, selfishness takes root, and selfishness slowly destroys the bond of marriage. But when both partners are willing to sacrifice for one another, the love between them deepens because they know they are valued and prioritized. Compromise is closely connected to sacrifice, but it works in both directions. It is not always about one person giving and the other taking. Compromise means that sometimes you step back, sometimes your spouse steps back, and both of you learn to respect each other's needs. If one partner insists on always being right, always having the final word, or always getting what they want, then the other will eventually feel unseen and unheard. But when compromise exists, both feel important, both feel respected, and both feel like they are building something together. Patience ties it all together. There will be moments when your spouse frustrates you, when they do not meet your expectations, or when life itself puts stress on your marriage. Without patience, every small issue can turn into an explosion. With patience, however, you learn to overlook the small flaws, to forgive mistakes, and to focus on the bigger picture. Marriage is not about finding someone perfect, but about building with someone who is imperfect, just like you are. Marriage is not a short-term arrangement or a temporary companionship. It is meant to be a lifelong journey. Too often, people approach marriage with excitement for the wedding day, the celebrations, and the immediate joys, but they forget to ask themselves whether they are prepared for the years and decades that follow. A strong marriage requires a long-term vision, an understanding that you are committing not just to the moments when things are easy and beautiful, but also to the days when life tests your patience and challenges your strength. Without that vision, marriages collapse under the weight of hardship, because one or both partners entered with the mindset of, if it doesn't work, I'll just leave. Commitment, however, demands something greater, the ability to hold on, to work through difficulties, and to grow together despite the obstacles. Long-term vision begins with the intention of loyalty. Marriage is not a contract you walk away from when you are tired. It is a covenant built on trust, love, and responsibility. Loyalty means standing by your partner not only when they are at their best, but also when they are struggling. It means resisting temptations from the outside world, guarding your heart and your relationship, and never allowing betrayal to destroy the bond you promised to protect. Loyalty is not only physical, it is also emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's choosing your partner over and over again, even when life makes it difficult. Commitment also means consistency. Relationships do not thrive on grand gestures done once in a while, but on small acts of care and responsibility done every single day. The long-term vision of marriage reminds you that it is not just about falling in love once, but about staying in love, nurturing it and rebuilding it every time it feels tested. This requires effort to communicate, effort to forgive, effort to renew affection, and effort to stand side by side in building a future. Challenges will come. Financial struggles, family pressures, health issues, differences of opinion, all of these are inevitable parts of life. A person who enters marriage without understanding this reality may become disappointed, thinking something is wrong when hardships arise. But the truth is, hardships do not mean your marriage is broken. They are simply opportunities for you to grow stronger as a team. With long-term vision, you see these challenges not as reasons to give up, but as reasons to work harder, to lean on one another, and to rely on Allah for guidance and strength.